Pat, Shimon Peres died at the age of 93 after suffering a massive stroke 2 weeks ago. World leaders, including President Obama and former President Bill Clinton, along with Hillary Clinton, will attend his funeral Friday in Israel. Chris Mitchell has this look at the man whose life spanned the entire history of modern Israel.
Born in Poland in 1923, Shimon Peres immigrated to Israel at 11 years old. And when Israel was reborn as a nation in 1948, Peres was there. And both critics and admirers will agree that for the next 7 decades, he played a major role in the country's leadership.
Shimon Peres has one of the most unique stories in Israel's history. He's been on the political scene for 70 years. He has a political life that's longer than Moses.
Peres is best known as the secret architect of the Oslo Accords in the early 1990s. It began the peace process between Israel and the Palestinians, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize with Yasser Arafat for his efforts. Historian and author Michael Widlansky said Peres will be remembered for the good and the bad.
His place in history is 2 huge successes and 2 or 3 huge mistakes. His huge success was that together with Ben-Gurion, he set up Israel's nuclear reactor and its nuclear program. His further success was in 1976. He, not Yitzhak Rabin, was the person who initiated the Entebbe raid in Uganda.
He began his career as an aide to Israel's first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion. He was a socialist who worked his way up the ranks of the left-wing Labor Party, which ran Israel for decades. Over the years, Peres would serve as defense minister, foreign minister, and prime minister 3 times, and finally as president, the highest ceremonial office.
His 2 huge failures. First of all, he was opposed to the Iraqi reactor raid by Menachem Begin in 1981. And his biggest failure is the Oslo Accords. The deal with the PLO, which he naively believed would bring peace to Israel, brought more harm, more terror than anything ever before.
CBN founder Pat Robertson interviewed Peres in his office in 1984. It seems some things haven't changed.
The U.S. and Israel have reached a new strategic understanding. How would you enlarge on those initiatives?
You know, everybody talks about American aid to Israel, but if you will compare what is the cost of the American presence in Europe or Japan or Korea, it's incomparable to what we are being given help. And on the other hand, to go together and try to bring peace to the area.
Widlansky and others describe Peres as a man of tremendous optimism and drive.
He did some great things for the state of Israel for which he should always be remembered positively. He tried hard, and he did it usually for the good of the state.
One way or the other, all would admit that with Peres passing, it's the end of an era in Israel. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.